So now let's transition to the topic of value. What value can you expect by moving to the cloud? There's actually a tremendous amount of value to be realized when a company migrates to the cloud, including things like flexibility, scalability, AI-powered innovation, additional layers of security, predictable straight line costs, staying current with OS levels, as well as your ERP levels, and just really overall greater agility. So with that, I'm going to turn the session now over to Ben, who will go into greater detail on the left column of these benefits, to be followed by Greg, who will go into greater detail on the right column. So Ben, over to you.
Thanks. So we're going to start with flexibility and scalability, and these are essential for businesses aiming to thrive in today's dynamic markets. Let's delve deeper into how these systems can revolutionize these aspects. The global shift towards remote work has highlighted the necessity for systems that support distributed teams. Cloud ERP allows employees access to crucial business applications and data from anywhere, fostering collaboration across different geographies and time zones. Immediate access to real-time data enables quick decision-making. For instance, some of our customers have remote sales teams that can check inventory levels instantly, ensuring they can commit to customer orders confidently. And cloud ERPs come with integration platforms that make it easier to connect with other software solutions. This means you can tailor the ERP system to fit your unique business processes without significant overhauls. And cloud extensibility tool sets provide companies the ability to create that last mile functionality that will give them the competitive advantage without compromising system integrity or upgradability, so no more version locking. And as you were hearing earlier, unlike on-premise systems where adding hardware capacity can take weeks or months, cloud ERPs can adjust resources in a matter of minutes. This elasticity is crucial during peak seasons or unexpected surges in demand. If your business plans to expand internationally, cloud ERPs can easily accommodate new currencies, languages, and regulatory requirements without the need for extensive reconfiguration. And scalability isn't just about adding resources, it's about optimizing performance. Cloud providers offer tools to monitor and adjust performance parameters, ensuring the ERP system runs efficiently as your user base grows. Some of our customers experience seasonal spikes in demand. So with the cloud ERP, they can scale up their computing resources during high demand periods and scale down during off-peak times, optimizing cost and performance. So I'm going to ask you, how many of you have faced challenges when trying to adapt your ERP system to new business requirements? Imagine a system that evolves with you as opposed to against you. With continuous innovation and efficiency, we really see as an opportunity to use AI and ML. AI and ML, they're no longer futuristic concepts. They're here, they're transforming the way our businesses operate. A cloud ERP provider often operates on a SaaS model, so they're able to push out new features and improvements regularly without disrupting your operations. This means you benefit from the latest innovations without the need for costly upgrades. Some providers even offer early access to these new functionalities, allowing you to stay ahead of the curve and leverage cutting-edge tools before they become mainstream. This allows your company to become an active participant in the future direction of the product. Beyond automating tasks, AI can also enable intelligent automation, where the system learns from patterns and can make decisions or recommendations. For example, automating the approval process for purchase orders based on predefined thresholds and historical data. And artificial intelligence-driven chatbots and virtual assistants can handle employee inquiries, assist with report generation, even interact with customers, improving response times and reducing the workload on support staff. And machine learning algorithms can identify unusual patterns that may indicate errors, fraud, or inefficiency, allowing you to address issues proactively. Process intelligence is an example of this, where machine learning is monitoring business processes for deviations of both steps and time taken, enabling companies to head off bad habits and identify functional areas for improvement. Some additional applications of AI and ML include AI modeling to analyze market trends, historic sales data, and economic indicators to provide more accurate financial forecasts. And in the supply chain area, we can use AI and ML to analyze data across the supply chain. And the AI can predict potential disruptions and suggest alternative routes or suppliers, ensuring continuity. At the end of the day, automation reduces manual labor costs and minimizes errors, leading to significant savings over time. Artificial intelligence can enable faster response times and personalized interactions, enhancing that customer experience. And early adopters of AI and ML and ERP systems can outperform competitors by being more agile and more responsive to market changes. So consider how much time your team spends on repetitive tasks. What strategic initiatives could they focus on if those tasks were automated? In the last section I'll cover before handing it off to the next presenter is security and trust and FedRAMP. So security remains top concern for businesses moving to the cloud. Let's see how ERP can address this, build trust through compliance. So data is encrypted at both rest and in transit. This ensures that even if data were intercepted, it would remain unreadable to unauthorized parties. We leverage multi-factor authentication, and that adds an extra layer of security by requiring multiple forms of verification before granting access. And cloud providers often are conducting frequent security assessments and penetration testing to identify and address vulnerabilities proactively as opposed to reacting to them. Data centers are often located in multiple geographic regions, reducing the risk of data loss to regional disasters. Therefore, if a hurricane takes out a data center in southeastern US, your environment automatically shifts to another region of the country. And providers often offer service level agreements that will guarantee uptime and outline protocols for those disaster recoveries, giving you peace of mind. And these will often guarantee uptime above and beyond 99%. A specific area of security is FedRAMP. So FedRAMP provides a standardized approach to security assessment, authorization, and continuous monitoring for cloud products and services that are being used by US federal agencies. CMMC requirements are part of contracts now, not down the road, and enforcement will be hitting not only prime vendors, but also any other vendors in their supply chain. Even if you're not a federal agency, FedRAMP compliant indicates a high level of security and risk management. It ensures that your cloud provider adheres to stringent security standards. Finally, one other area of compliance for businesses operating in or within or with the European Union, general data protection regulations compliance is essential. So cloud ERPs can help manage that personal data in compliance with GDPR rules. So I'll leave you with this before handing it on. How confident are you in your current system's ability to protect against these emerging cyber threats? Consider how a cloud ERP with advanced security measures could enhance your security posture.
All right, so thanks, Ben, for that. Talk a little bit about the predictability of the cost. So companies that choose a SaaS-based or hosted ERP solution benefit from a more predictable and easier to budget for system. The cloud subscriptions typically are going to include the costs that otherwise would be the responsibility for the company hosting their on-premise ERP. These costs are often managed by third-party service providers, and they include necessary components like your SQL Server and other licensing requirements, the physical hardware, virus protection, disaster recovery measures, and backup services, all of which are included in your hosted solution. The inclusive coverage not only simplifies budgeting year after year, but also reduces the strain on businesses with limited IT staff. It's particularly beneficial for companies relying on those managed service providers to sell, maintain, and update their infrastructure. Transitioning to a cloud-based solution eliminates the risk associated with aging hardware, so you're no longer going to be wondering how much longer that 10-year-old server in the back closet is going to last before it crashes, forcing a downtime and halting production. Providers like AWS or Aptrix offer enterprise-grade performance, security, and backup services to small and medium-sized businesses typically cannot replicate. So something to consider is if your business suffered a ransomware attack or a server crash, could you confidently restore the data without any issues? Just know that with your SaaS solution, you can gain a peace of mind knowing that your backups are secure and tested in part of the managed ecosystem. So staying current with the SaaS. So in addition to offering a more predictable cost of ownership, SaaS software helps companies avoid the accumulation of technical debt. So technical debt refers to future costs that will be incurred when shortcuts or less than ideal solutions are implemented during the development and deployment of software. These shortcuts may save time or resources initially, but they'll inevitably lead to increased complexity, maintenance challenges, or expensive rework down the road. A good and all too common example of technical debt is a company building a homegrown application, which may be built on Microsoft Access as an example, that's designed to push or pull data from their legacy ERP. These applications are typically created to address a perceived gap in functionality or meet a unique business requirement. Unfortunately, the fear of compatibility issues often prevent these companies from upgrading their core ERP, and over time, this reliance on custom applications can create significant roadblocks or lost opportunities. We often see the person who originally wrote the custom application no longer even works for the company, which creates even more complication and dependency. By running your business on the cloud, you can avoid these traps and take advantage of those current technologies, features, and avoid expensive and disruptive upgrades. So agility, and we've mentioned some of these things already in the presentation, but they're very important, so we want to make sure that the message is relayed. So some of these points in the slide may be obvious, some may not be, but what they all do have in common is that they are undervalued and overlooked. Companies that have access to their systems from anywhere in the world at any time can react to specific situations when they have access to the necessary data. If the COVID situation taught us anything, it's that access to data outside of the four walls is no longer a luxury, and it's a requirement to running an efficient business. And we can tell you firsthand here at Synergy that companies that were already running cloud software had a much easier time adapting to work from home mandates and were far more effective in maintaining business as usual than those who were running an on-premise solution. Modern cloud-based solutions have built-in automation designed to automate otherwise mundane and manual tasks, allowing those who were once stuck in the manual world to focus on more revenue-generating activities. And here's a great example, and I heard this a lot from our customers, that some employees still had to go into work from time to time to print out invoices, to mail them, put envelopes and stamps on them, pay the bills, open invoices from their vendors. But nowadays, with cloud-based ERP systems, you can have these processes scheduled so that the invoices are emailed directly to the customer. ACH payments can be applied to invoices, and incoming vendor bills can be processed via OCR technology. This example defines agility and highlights some advantages that more than likely will not find in the strict on-premise solution. For companies that are in acquisition mode, where onboarding a new company and bringing them into a cloud solution is far less disruptive than setting up unreliable remote desktop applications, installing local instances that can dramatically speed up the deployment process. This will naturally lead to a much more efficient and successful onboarding process that will speed up user adoption and buy-in, ultimately leading to a much quicker time to value.